Congressman Charles Rangel is the Dean of New York's congressional delegation. Kind enough to join us after the sit-in, after no sleep last night. Charlie Rangel still calls old Piscopo on the radio. Congressman Rangel, welcome back to the program.
Are you from New Jersey?
Charlie.
It's always good talking with you, Joe.
You too, Congressman. I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm getting heat from my listeners. They say, Charlie, I got a soft spot for you, man. You're a great guy. I know how much you've done for Harlem, man. I know how much you've done. I've seen it. I've known you for years. I mean, you're a Purple Heart. You were awarded the Purple Heart for your valor in Korea. So we appreciate that. But tell us about the sit-in, because they're busting my chops, Charlie. And I'll tell you what. Did you sit down, Charlie Rangel? Did you actually sit on the floor yourself?
No, because I'm 86 years old. I could have sat down very easily. It was no problem sitting down. It was getting back up, but that would have been the problem with me. No, but I tell you, I have been in the Congress for 46 years, and I have been a part of some of the most exciting legislative decisions that have occurred in my country. Mm-hmm. But that had to be one of the most exciting and the proudest moment, where the Congress said, we got to take a vote because America wants it. And it wasn't as though we wanted to take our will or the things that we wanted to do and project that over to Congress and not follow the rules. All we were saying is that in view of the massacre that took place in Orlando, in view of what is happening throughout these United States and in the cities, should we not have some control over the use of firearms? And when we know that the overwhelming majority, 80 to 90% of the American people, know that we don't need all of these automatic weapons to be just purchased by anybody, we just said to the Speaker, can you give us a vote? The United States Senate is just as partisan, but they gave them a vote. And so we just wanted to capture the moment to say, give us a vote. And what were the issues? It is that if the Federal Bureau of Investigation and all the intelligence officers say that a person should not be able to fly to a country that we believe that they're up to no good, they shouldn't be able to buy a gun. We're saying that anybody that wants to purchase a firearm, people should know the background of that person. Yeah. There is nobody, no matter how conservative, even members of the National Rifle Association, when polled, said they had no objection to that, and it did not violate the Second Amendment. So we took an extraordinary measure to get a vote, and guess what? The Republicans left town. The leadership actually left town, and
but Charlie, listen, Charlie, you're a street guy, and I'm not overeducated. I'm like what Donald Trump says, the poorly educated man. You know what I mean? I'm a street guy. My sense is a street sense. Can't Barack Obama, and I've been all over the president on this. I got to be very, very honest with you. Can't he reach out to the other side? Because you bring in someone like yourself in, talk this out. I mean, the sit-in seemed childish to a lot of us, Charlie. And then when you just say, and Charlie, I'm telling you what my listeners are feeling, when you said, you need the guns, Congress needs the guns because we deserve to be protected, but why don't the people deserve to be protected by arming themselves, Charlie Rangel?
Well, I hate to mention the name Donald Trump, but the classic example.
Now wait a minute. You know you love the Donald in your heart, Charlie. You know you do. Come on.
He said that the best way to fight bad guys with guns, is to arm everybody. And you bet your life I'm from the street. And I cannot imagine people going to a place having good times, having drinks, and someone says, hey, there's a madman in here, and he has an automatic weapon, and everybody reaches for their weapon in order to shoot him. I mean, the comical world better than anybody. Can you imagine a Class B movie where someone's at a party, and everyone says, okay, there's a nut here, and everyone pulls out their gun, It's the most dangerous thing in the world. Or that there's a kid in the classroom, or an adult in the classroom, and the principal says, there's someone here with a gun, and all the kids pull out their guns, all the teachers pull out their guns. And about the President of the United States, let me be clear with you.
Please.
I wish he had the personality that could go beyond Democrat and Republicans and be able to invite people over to the White House in an informal way and see what can be worked out. But on the day that he was sworn in, when the major Republican in the Senate, McConnell, says that his major thing is to make certain that this man is not reelected, when we have major legislation, we can't get one Republican vote from the president. They started this, and unfortunately, the Democrats responded in the same way. And the partisanship there, with friends that I have had over the years on the Republican side, it has been terrible what has happened. In addition to that, in answer to your question, what goes beyond the president is that we now have congressional districts drawn by Democrats and Republicans in such a way that they don't need Democratic votes or Republican votes. They've been gerrymandered, which means that that getting along with Democrats are not going to help Republicans get reelected. I have a friend of mine, Peter King, who is a real Republican all his life.
Yeah, we love Peter.
And he comes over and sits next to me. I said, "What's up, Pete?" He says, "Nothing. I'm just trying to annoy some of my Republican friends." And we laugh about it because
That's
it's
great.
really that bad. And if I go over there and sit next to one of the guys that I've known for years and known the family, they say, "Rangel, what's up, kid? Why are you talking to them?" It is bad. It's never been this bad.
Yeah, and here you are stepping away and retiring, Charlie. But just to stay on the guns, and then we'll get off of that, Charlie. And we so appreciate your valuable time, Congressman Rangel. But, the argument is made to me, and I understand it. It seems like Barack Obama wants to take away the guns. They want to destroy the Second Amendment. What are your feelings in that regard, Charlie?
My regards is that people are so angry with the president and made up their mind they just don't like him, that it really doesn't make any difference what he wants to do. They would be opposed to it. Most Americans haven't the slightest idea why the writers of the Constitution said that a person should have the right to bear arms, or what the Second Amendment is. Because whether you're from New Jersey or whether you're from New York, we don't like people running around with weapons on them. And common sense and decency means that if a person wants to have a weapon, they should be able to tell either the state or the federal government exactly why they believe that they are endangered. If they want to shoot and kill deer and go to the target range, do all of those things. But not one person can say, we need an automatic weapon to do it. I was in combat in Korea, and my God, that's where we needed fully automatic weapons, and we didn't have them available because of lack of technology. But you sure don't need them to shoot down deer and birds and whatnot. It's a partisan issue. It's unfortunate. It has nothing to do with the Constitution, but it has everything to do with, hey, if the president allows us to control any type of guns, that means he'll take guns from everybody. It's rhetoric. It's a prejudged idea, but it doesn't make any sense. And guess what, Joe? 85% of the American people want something done, even the members of the National Rifle Association. We have seen a breakthrough in the United States Senate, and so they're going to now have to try to say why Republican senators who are now advocating some type of control are they against the Second Amendment. And you take my word for it, Joe, they will not be attacking those Republican senators that have credibility, that's trying to work something out in a bipartisan way. They're not going to say that they're trying to destroy the Second Amendment. No, this thing just deals with an atmosphere of not cooperating with this particular president, and it's really, truly sad. Even if you take the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah. Hey,
3 times the Republicans have voted to repeal it. Not to fix it, not to amend it, not to change it, but just to repeal it. And
you know what, Charlie? I've said on the air, Congressman. I've said, they always say repeal Obamacare. Show me the alternative. I agree with you there. But when it comes to guns, Congressman, before we let you go, what about terror, man? It wasn't terror. They're blaming guns. It seems like a distraction. Terrorists are coming in. This guy, he pledged his allegiance to Baghdadi. Baghdadi. I mean, the Democrats didn't address that, Charlie. I think that's what upsets a lot of people.
You just tell me for 1 minute, if he was a nut and pledged allegiance to anybody, if he couldn't walk into a store and pick up a couple automatic weapons, I don't care who he was pledging allegiance to. We should find out who he is and kick him out the country.
Thank you.
But he didn't fire spitballs at these people because of his allegiance to foreign enemies. I mean, it's both things, sure. It's the fact that he had this abnormal, unpatriotic allegiance to an enemy of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And that is real. There are a whole lot of sick people that just don't like people. The whole idea is that he didn't run and get a baseball bat to hit somebody. He went and got automatic weapons and was able to reload. And so it's both. Nobody can absolutely say what was on this nut's mind. But
Congressman,
the whole idea was, he wasn't a guy that came over here from overseas. He was a guy that was born in the United States of America. And we have more than our share of people who don't think clearly. And that means that you shouldn't allow these people to be able to get automatic weapons. There's no need for an automatic weapon. And I'll debate anybody to tell me what the hell is a fully automatic weapon and to have 2 and 3 and 4 of them got to do with the Second Amendment. Absolutely nothing. The British are not coming here and taking us over. As a matter of fact, the British now have their problems as they pull out of the European Union. And so we don't have to worry about them, King George, coming over here. The 13 colonies.
Congressman, listen, listen, Congressman, you know what? You're a Spitfire, Charlie. I love it, man. You know what? Look at you, 86, and you're still fired up, and we love you for that, Congressman Rangel. Now, when you retire, you are more than welcome to come visit us in New Jersey, because I know that is one of your goals.
I'm going to come over there physically, Joe, because I enjoy the challenge, because that is what makes our country so great. There's so many countries in the world that if someone was to speak out against the President of the United States or elected official, that is it. They are found missing. There's so many people, so many countries, that if the people are angry with you, as some of the people have been angry with presidents, Republican or Democrats, they pull you out of the office and shoot you. Here, I just hope that they register, that they vote, and then they will decide what's good for the American people. And so I look forward to getting over there in New Jersey and see what you guys are doing there. There was a time that we used to look across the Hudson River and feel sorry for you guys. But now I look across the Hudson River and I see the great skyscrapers that are going up there.
Look at that.
And it is a really different state altogether. I'm proud of the...
we'll give you... Congressman, I will give you a personal tour, sir. Anytime, Charlie Rangel, there's the dean of New York's congressional delegation. Congressman, I know how busy you are, and I know it's a crazy time for you down there.
But I have to get a visa or something through you.
Yeah, man. I'll stamp it. I'll stamp it.
If anything ever happens and anyone roughs me up, I say back off. I'm not from New Jersey, but I know best. I know Joe, and he told me I could come. Fair enough.
That's true. Fair enough, Congressman.
Have a great day, Joe.
You too, Charlie. Thanks for taking the time, Charlie Rangel.